What is up, guys? We are now at episode 9 of Kart Talk. I can't believe we're already at closing in on double digits. What a wonderful experience it's been. You have some familiar faces here, and then some new faces. So before we get to some of the bios and origin stories, we'll go around and just say hello. So, friends and fans, thanks for joining us again. Always good to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And then, surprisingly, somebody you've seen before, but maybe weren't sure if they just had a lost sense of reality or people kept talking over him. But we have Knights here. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm crossing my fingers we don't have more audio issues. But for those of you who watched episode 8, Knights was on. For some reason, the program totally distorted his audio, and I think I had a couple of people commenting, I wish people would stop interrupting or talking over that guy on the left. But I'll explain why he's here in a second, and that's a good segue to introduce WootMoo. Thanks for joining us, WootMoo.
What's up?
What is up? Me. Yes, and then we have Jonboy and Jongirl. We have Jonboy88. Welcome.
What's going on, guys?
And Jongirl, welcome.
Hi, thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. So Jonboy and Jongirl are, as well as Frenzy fans, are super studs. These are our members who, at any time we have Kart Talk, they are welcome to join, assuming that their schedule permits. Now, the one person you'll notice is not here. Sammy D was planning to be here, had some things come up, so we did have to scramble a little bit to find a replacement. It's sad that we don't have him, but I think we'll have a great podcast. We have a lot to talk about in general. And that's why, partly why Knights is here. It's interesting. I mentioned that we were going to have WootMoo join us. And as you notice, they're twins. They also sound very similar. And I had a lot of people say, I want them both to be on the same episode, like multiple people within our community. I'm like, that sounds like for a podcast, that's probably the worst idea I've ever heard in my life because it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. However, they're like, yeah, that's exactly why we want them because it'd be so cool to like hear them kind of how similar they are and see how similar they are. So I thought that was great. And then I don't normally bring on non-members multiple times, but I felt so terrible. The Knight's audio was so scrambled. I was like, you know what, this might be a good way for the community to get what they want and to do right by Knights. So glad you have the twins on, and we'll kind of start with that. Obviously, Knights, people got to know you, got to know your origin story last time. We'll hear from WootMoo's origin story here in a second, but tell us about your obsession with fish, man. You got a little fish tank in the background. Just, I guess, tell people why you like fish so much and what got you into fish stuff.
Yeah, so I've always been keeping like fish my entire life. I always started with like little like betta fish and goldfish here and there, and over time I just kind of added more and more. Like this is like nothing behind me. Like I can maybe turn the camera right now. You'll see. There's more.
Okay, we'll take your word for it.
But
he might as well just build him his own aquarium.
Yeah, for real. That's what people always say. But yeah, I've always like loved fish. I love aquatic life, and anything that comes to Mario Kart Tour that like has to do with like aquatic stuff, I love it. That's why I love like swimwear and the Manta gliders. I have to get them. I believe bought them all.
Wow.
So yeah, like anything like with aquatics, I love anything marine.
So, like Manta and like the Silver Manta, or do you have a favorite between all? What's your favorite sea-related item in Mario Kart Tour?
I had to say the Manta gliders just because they're so cute and they're also really cool looking. I love all three of them. I think the Silver Manta the most just because it's like shiny. But like the polka dot one, it's like I like it a lot, but it's not getting the value I want it to. It has like half city, half non-city. And then the regular Manta, it's cool just because it looks like a Manta, but the value is kind of all over the place. So I like all three of them. And then like Swimmer Rosalina, I'm obsessed with. Yeah, I like the Tube Nest. I know you don't like them. Those are cool too. I love
7 and triple and capped.
Yeah. Trust me, it's hard having the Yukata ribbon in the top 10. I'm like, geez, Gosh, dang it,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. As you know, I'm not a big fan of that. WootMoo, welcome, man. Tell us a little bit about your origin story and maybe how you met the other guy here, your twin. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit from your angle on your relationship with Mario Kart and each other, and how you guys spur each other on, and probably joke on each other too.
Yeah. I kind of just, same thing with Knights. We played the same Mario Karts throughout, like, our lives. Well, we only played, like, 4 of them. But over time, we just, but I always wanted, like, a mobile Mario Kart, but I already knew that, like, there wasn't one in the App Store. But then, like, 3 months later, I hear that, Mario Kart Tour is coming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, finally! And then, I'm a day one player, so, day one, I literally stayed up all night just to download the app, and and surprisingly, I actually got my first gold pipe as my first item in the game. So I guess that was like a reward for being like one of the first to download it. But
well, and Knight says that you have the better luck, Tim. Too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe the first thing he pulled was the bandwagon. Like,
Yeah.
he says, like, lap 2, oh, you pull this pipe, and it was gold. And that's where he started. Like, he has the best account.
Yeah. But as Knight's hobby is fish, mine is cars. Like I'm obsessed with cars, and I'm guessing Studfit knows that because anytime a cool cart comes in the Mario Kart Tour, I'm like, I want that cart. Just like the Vampire Flyer, the Crawley, all these carts, I always want to collect them all because I'm just like obsessed with the looks of them.
I was gonna guess cats because I see the.
Yeah.
Cat thing
I love cats
you.
too.
But hey, I mean, you can like cars, have cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a car guy. Do you have a favorite car, or maybe a favorite, like in real life, favorite cart in the game?
I have a lot of favorite cars. I used to be in like more of like the exotics. Like I used to, like when I was younger, I was like obsessed with like exotics, like Lamborghinis and all that stuff. But like as I grew up, I kind of like fell in love with like JDM, like Nissan 300ZX, one of those 1990 cars. And then I also and starting to like fall in love with like the Hyundai and Kia field, where they used to have like crap, like really like bad car quality, but then they improved over time, and then now they make like performance cars and stuff. So Carlos actually said it was a funny story. So one time I said Carlos's car account is worth more than both of mine and my mom's car, and I'm like, he's like, what car do you guys have? And I say a Hyundai. I'm like, and surprisingly, my car was worth my mom's and my cars are worth $6,000 each. So it was like, at the time, Carlos' account was worth more than both our cars. So it's crazy.
Now maybe there's more than mine.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a deal going on there between you guys. Maybe you guys can find a way to do an exchange there. No, I'm just joking. But Nice you have the off-roader, don't you? Isn't your car the off-roader?
Oh yeah.
My favorite? Oh yeah,
no, I thought your actual car.
Yeah, I call it the Tanuki cart now because my truck looks just like it. It has like the wide tires, the fenders, the wheels. It's orange. It looks just like it, bro.
Got like that. I have absolutely no segue to this next one, but Jonboy, let's hear from you, your origin story, and how you got into the game, and kind of how you got wrapped up in this crazy community.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
It's been a crazy ride for the last 2 years, hasn't it?
It has been. I do hear a little bit of an echo. You might want to take a look at that. I'm not sure. Is that what? Are you hearing that on your end too?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. How about maybe you have something open, but maybe we'll let Jongirl jump in, and then we'll come back, Angelita, and then we'll jump back to you. How about that? Does that work?
Sure.
Let's do that. Yeah, Angelita, why don't you introduce yourself, your origin story, and kind of how you got wrapped up into this community?
Well, I'm not a day one player. I started around the exploration tour, but I remember the very first time that I played Mario Kart because my dad was a game fanatic, and the first thing that we had was a NES, and a big periscope and sticker on the shoulder, you shoot the moles and everything. So we got Mario Kart, and then slowly drifted away from that console, went on to another one, which I'm not going to say. And then when I lived in France for a year, my boyfriend at the time, he went out and he bought a Wii, and then that was when Mario Kart came out for that game, and we were there just playing it, and it was fun. So I actually found out about the game just before it got launched on iPhone. So I was like, Mario Kart Tour? How's that going to work on a phone?
Yeah.
That's a stupid idea. So, yeah, like I said, I started joining Exploration Tour, and that was mainly because of lockdown and everything. And as I started playing the game, I thought, yeah, this is kind of fun. So, I remember my first driver was Toadette, because you start off with Toadette.
Wow, really?
My first high-end driver was Metal Mario, and I thought, oh, I like this guy. And then I got the Go Glider, and for some reason I didn't know what to do with the rubies. You know, I was like, what the hell are these things? What the hell do these things do?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
They were there just like building up, and I think I ended up with about 2,000 of them.
Oh my gosh! Oh, so you didn't know about the pipes or anything like that?
Yeah, I just didn't know what to do with them. So then I thought, oh, this is what you do. So I was there pulling them off, and I thought,
Did you dump them into like one big pipe?
yeah, I just did it all. I just went and just fired away with everything.
Do you remember which pipe it was?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, no. I really don't. I remember Rock Mountain. I remember that. And I remember Royal Raceway. I remember that because I like jumping over the mushrooms and everything. And I thought, yeah, this is kind of fun. And yeah, that was it. I just sat there and worked, and I was just firing away. And everyone was like, what are you doing? I'm like, hey, Mario Kart, it's really good, get into it. Couldn't find anyone who would play. So that was when I looked online and thought, there's got to be a community somewhere. So I found Carlos' server, I found Mancolor, and I found Abdallah as well. And then slowly kind of drifted back towards Carlos' server, and then also found out about other players as well, like yourself. Started joining channels and everything else, and just went on from there. So, yeah.
And now you're wrapped up in it. So glad to have you here. Talking about backgrounds, we went from a cat background and a fish background to a Christmas tree. Christmas is your favorite holiday, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Actually, yes. I'll just turn it that way just a little bit. There you go. My son absolutely loves Christmas, so his favorite one is this one.
Best favorite ornament.
Yeah, that's his. I don't know if you can see that. Baby's First Christmas, 2012.
Oh, nice.
So that one's his. But yeah, no, my dad was a real big Christmas fan, you know, before he passed and everything. So I just decorate my tree as early as possible after bonfire night. But yeah, and as you can tell, I'm from the UK, so it's kind of like here, 2:36 in the morning.
Yes, thank you for being willing to accommodate this tough time. It's early or late or whatever for you, so appreciate you making that sacrifice. Glad to have you.
Later.
Jonboy, let's take a look. Let's see if there's any echo or anything. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I changed my headphone.
Oh, you're perfect, man. Awesome.
Perfect. Awesome.
A little bit echo, but I think as long as you're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool, man. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your origin story and how you got wrapped up in this Studfit community. And by the way, I love your shirt.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Thanks for sending it.
Yeah, so how'd you find out about Mario Kart Tour?
Well, I've been playing Mario Kart since the SNES days. And then played on N64. And I played a little bit on GameCube. And then I kind of, grew up. Adult life happened. Put the consoles down. Too busy to do anything. And then all of a sudden, Mario Kart on the phone. I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. Day one player. Like, Cold Pass. Sure, why not? And then...
And so you would consider yourself a whale? Would you agree? No? Yes?
Okay, I'm a whale.
A killer whale?
We'll be looking at top 10 here pretty soon, hopefully.
And you do a lot of multiplayer too, like some clan wars, and have a lot of experience there, right?
Yeah. I remember when we didn't even have multiplayer, and then everybody was mad because they released the Mario Kart game, and there was no multiplayer. If you remember back then.
Yeah, at the very, very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no multiplayer? What? What's this?
Yeah, man. Well, actually, that's a good conversation for us, in that we have been the month of November having our Monday multiplayer. Member multiplayer Mondays. We've been for the month of November. Whoever collects the most points will join on the episode of the Rundown in December, or the month that they prefer to. But as of right now, Jonboy is in the lead. Now you're a Super Stud member, so the perk isn't quite as interesting for you. But you're crushing it, man. You're 161 points so far. Here Are the Skies is at 147. MKT Mario Kart Dawn's Ben is at 144. Tabor's at 135. Kart Daughters at 134. Zooms is at 133. We got Jeeves at 126. EDietel at 92. Natalie at, and I won't get into their scores because these last three people they only played half the weeks. But Natalie, Larry, and Jongirl as well. Jongirl, you've been enjoying multiplayer here recently, right? You were not a multiplayer player at all, and now you've been crushing it.
I kind of have to talk her into it.
You've been having fun though, right? What keeps you coming back every Monday?
It's just, well, every time that a tour gets launched, John got me into doing the cups early and everything else, and yeah, it's kind of fun when you get to like throw a red shell, and it just hits him, and you just land on his head, and then you just take the lead or something like that. So I thought it was like a good way to, still be involved in the server and everything, and yeah, it's a great time. We just, like you say, we just go in, we have,
I'll tell you what it is. It's spouse abuse. That's what it is.
What is it?
It's spouse abuse. That's what it is.
Ah, I see. Yeah, so you guys, Jonboy and Jongirl, you guys have a real budding relationship, friendship here in the game, and I guess tell the fans out there how you guys met, and I guess how is Mario Kart, a part of your relationship? Pretty high level. Don't get too detailed.
Quick notes. We met by chance in the server. He was awake, and I think it was about 3:30 in the morning, and he said, "Anybody alive out there?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm awake, but I'm getting some water and I'm going to bed." That turned into a 7-hour conversation, and it went on from there. And then, we took it to the next level. We got engaged. And
congratulations!
Yeah, so that's how we met. Just by chance over, is anybody awake?
Wow.
Water.
That was probably the best water you ever got. Awesome. Well, so cool to have you guys, having Mario Kart Tour as a way that you guys met and something that's a part of. So we're honored just to have our community, somewhat submersed in that relationship, and pretty excited there. While we're on the topic of fun that we do as a server and standings, etc., for some of you guys might know, we have a fantasy football league. So Tabor's actually in the lead of his division. I'm leading in one division, but we have this be Chris is doing really well. He's in second place of Tabor's division, and Kareem is in second place in my division. So it's getting down to the wire. We're having some fun in all sides of the community. So if you would like to be a part of this community, check out our memberships, and who knows, maybe you could be on our next Kart Talk. All right, guys, enough of the fun chat. We need to get down and dirty. We need to have some fun talking about Mario Kart Tour. We'll start with our icebreaker. This icebreaker is a little interesting. If you had like a special ticket called a Switch Skills ticket, like again, you only have one, and essentially you get to swap skills of a driver, something in replace of whatever it is there. Which driver would you switch the skill for, and what skill would you get? Anyone want to take a first stab at this?
I don't even
Maybe
answer
Frenzy
this
fans.
question.
Actually, how about we start with you guys since we haven't heard from you? I apologize. You still there, right?
Yeah. So, do I have to take the skill from a player and then give it to someone else, or is it just like gifting like whatever random?
It doesn't have to be a
player?
trade. It would be like for me, it would be Waluigi Vampire. You know, I would take away Bob-omb Cannon, and I would put in Boomerang. That would be my situation where because I love him as a character, but he has a terrible skill. So for me, like that would be the swap. That would be my ticket.
Okay. Yeah. So originally I was gonna say I was gonna take Coinbox away from Tuxedo Mario. I would give it to Gold Dry Bones. I was so excited when Gold Dry Bones, like that alt came out and that first Gold Pipe, like way back when. Sorry, not Gold Dry Bones. Gold Dry Bowser. I always get them confused.
Yes.
I was calling him out. I was like,
They're both super dry and gold, so I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gold Dry
Bowser. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's probably one of the sickest looking
He does.
characters. Like just like the most evil, the most intimidating. Like he's a large guy, so he'd be
Good hitbox.
And like he's gold, so you would think that he would get a coin box, but I think he's probably the character that I've ignored or like neglected the most, but regret like not just having him kind of like be my main guy. So
Yeah, and it's cool about like all the different like dry bones and dry bowels. So like there's like this hint of like this teal color that I like. I think like his smoke is like this teal. I don't know. There's something cool about it. I agree. He looks awesome. So you'd give him Coinbox though.
Yeah.
And of course you take it away from our little Tuxie, Toilet Paper Mario. I can't get mad at that. Nice. You were gonna say something. What were we gonna say?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say my choice. I was gonna pick a super driver. One of our most underwhelming ones, Monty Mole. I always liked him. As soon as we found out he was a driver, I was like, oh my god. And then he ends up being like Mushroom Cannon. I would give him something else, like maybe like Giant Banana or Triple Banana or something, just so he can actually be useful as a super driver. Like because like I've never touched him like once as for like ranked or like a cup because Mushroom Cannon is not good. So I wish he was just better, and I'll probably make him high end too.
Okay. That's a little interesting twist on the question. Yeah, I remember when Monty Mole came out, I remember Sammy D was like super stoked, and I didn't really know him at the time, but I got him that Monty Mole pack that looking back was probably the worst pack I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Monty Mole and Cactex. But anyway, for what it's worth, I think Monty Mole hit me. I haven't seen him. I don't even think that he's like really used as a bot that often. I don't know. I just forget about him a lot.
Yeah, I rarely see him. I mean, he never bothers you. He never shoots you or anything.
No, he's pretty cute. He's pretty chill.
He's chill.
Pretty calm. WootMoo, what would you say for your icebreaker? Who would you use that swap ticket on?
Stuff. I don't think I need to answer the question.
Uh-oh.
Rosalina or Halloween?
Yeah.
What skill would you give her? Because I know you are a big Dash Ring fan, right?
Yeah, I am a Dash Ring fan, but if I had to, I would automatically switch it to Coinbox just to make sure that all the tracks that she has are actually I can actually use her on instead of having to use like Gold Blue or something instead.
How many does she have? A lot of tracks?
I guess if she had the Coinbox ability, she would be on like Hakama Mario's tier. Not the best, but not like. But since she has the Coinbox ability, she'll be the best on those tracks. Yes.
Okay, so let's say plaintiff versus defendant, and you're defending Dash Ring. What would be your argument for why Dash Ring is a decent skill?
Well, now a lot of people, even though it's sometimes still like a disadvantage, the only thing that Nintendo kind of fails to remind everyone is that the Dash Ring ability gives the user throwing the rings an ultra boost, while the bots or everyone, they only get like a really tiny like boost. Like the boost only lasts like a millisecond, and it just like it just vanishes. But when the person throwing the rings gets like a really, really long turbo. So when you get a dashing frenzy, the bots tend to, they'll ride in the middle of the rings, but then as you're riding through the rings, you're going faster than them, and then you can just like hit them out of the way, and like they'll be like in your way, and just like slide into them, and that's what I like about the ring. It's just kind of like a fun ability to use.
Hey, at this point in time, fun abilities are king at this point. It seems like everyone's really excited about this giant banana skill for this, and because it's so much fun, so I can't get mad at that. I know that, there are, every once in a while, the topic of Dash Ring comes up. I'm surprised. I get like 3 or 4 comments in the videos like, yeah, Dash Ring is underrated. So, hey, I just figured, why don't you put it in the universe, why you believe in it. So I appreciate you doing
and
that.
all of that, but I feel like it's like one of the abilities, like, you know how, like, you get a lot of Lucky 7 drivers and Bomb Cannon drivers in your races, and they ruin your map runs every time?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the dashing ability is probably one of the best abilities to have as your bot opponents, because there'll be a time when you're on like a track with no jump boost, and then like you're about to drop the combo, and all of a sudden just a ring just comes right out of nowhere and just saves that combo last second. And that's what I love about the ability too. It's just like a last second combo saver once in a while.
No, I get that too. Good answer. Jonboy, what would you say? What would be who would you use your Switch skills ticket on?
I'm gonna take the worst driver in the game, give him brand new skills. King Boo, Luigi Mansion. Take the bomb cannon away.
Okay.
We need the boo skill.
A boo skill.
Boo skill.
Okay.
Steal an item from an opponent, and then be invincible for a short time.
I like that. I like that. We have some King Boo Luigi Mansion fans here between Knights and WootMoo, and I think WootMoo likes a lot of Halloween items, but I know I think we're all on the same page when it comes to King Boo Luigi Mansion looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great suggestion there, Jonboy. Angelita, what would you say is your answer for your Switch skill?
Okay, well, as you know, I like Christmas as a tree. So I would take Fireflower away from Santa Mario, and I would give him Lucky 7. I think to myself, a Santa Claus throwing fire at you for Christmas, nuh-uh. That's scary as anything. So when I put in a Lucky 7, so you never know what you're gonna get. You just give him a Lucky 7, and you might get a red shell. You might get a horn or something. But yeah, it's just the thought of Santa Claus throwing fire is not good.
Yeah, well, that's a good transition. Jeeves2424. Many of you know Jeeves. He asked, "I'd like to know what are all your expectations for the upcoming winter holiday themed tours? Obviously, everyone's excited about Santa Bowser coming back because it has been a while. But what else? Thoughts on Santa Mario buff, or who would be the next Santa driver?" It's an interesting, right? Because we just finished this autumn celebration. We know that there'll be a winter celebration probably coming. As we anticipate that, I mean, what are your expectations for winter holiday themed items, and specifically Santa related items?
I think we're overdue for Miss Claus, so I'd love like a Peach Miss Claus coming out or something like that. And I'm gonna stick by the fact that I really think we need a Rambi rider that's really a reindeer like sleigh.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
I'll go, says hi.
What a great idea. Yeah, what a great idea. Other Santa related, other holiday, what do you guys think?
I mean, I would kind of like to see possibly Santa Bowser going through the workshop, where he can actually kind of hit the elves or something and go from left to right. And then as he's hitting them, he can get coins or get a box or something from them, kind of like with the pumpkins, kind of make it more fun, make it more interesting. But I am expecting
to run over children. Is that what you're saying? Run over elves?
Only the naughty ones. Only the naughty ones. Because you can have naughty and nice, and as you're hitting them, it can say naughty or something, just laughing a little elf voice or something like this. I don't know. Cloud
Little
Flex.
Yoshi elves.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that would be kind of interesting to have, like, a remix Merry Mountain, and, like, you can go through, like, one of the couple of buildings or something, and like, one of them is, like, the Santa's workshop. How cool would that be? Man,
Yeah.
I didn't thought of that. Other ideas?
Kind of hoping we get a new track rather than like a bunch of recycled ice tracks. Like, I know like N64 has like another snow map aside. I can't remember the name. It's not Proper Snowland, it's another one, I forget. But it's like all ice and it's just a big lake in the middle.
Sherbet
Going
Land,
around
I think.
it on ice. Sherbet Land, yeah. I kind of want Sherbet Land to come. But,
Sugarland, that sounds delicious.
Mm.
yeah, man. I'm hoping to see that, maybe like another driver. But, yeah, I'm not expecting too much. Just hoping for a new track and some good holiday stuff. A lot of the holiday Christmas stuff doesn't seem to get buffed throughout the year, though. It's like kind of random.
Yeah, I see that too. Do you see another Santa coming, or do you see another reindeer coming, or do you see a Miss Claus coming? What do you guys think? Who's the next
I'm kind of
Santa?
thinking a different kind of character, because we have like two Santas, we have technically a Mrs. Claus, like Daisy, but no one's gonna say, it's just gonna say Holiday Daisy.
Oh, holiday.
Then we have a reindeer. What if we get like a toad elf, which I'm sure like all the toad fans are gonna go crazy, you know?
With the ears and stuff, yeah, okay.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe like an elf character or something. We'll see. Something different
What
than
about
like, the
like
ones
a
we already have.
Yoshi Grinch?
Ooh, Yoshi
Wouldn't that
Grinch.
be cool?
Yo, that'd be awesome.
We all fight green.
I can say I'm go ahead, Jonboy.
I'm thinking we could have a Santa's helper Luigi, since he's already green, you know.
Oh yeah. Luigi elf.
Yeah, he does kind of have an elfy type face. I don't know why. I think
Yeah, I'd say that.
I'm just excited for Merry Mountain to come back, man. It's been a long time. I'm pretty excited about that, and maybe some other stuff too, like DK. I really like the DK summits. I know we got a little burnt out there earlier in the year, just getting them back to back. Yeah, kind of to your point, Knights. I invested in the Silver Manta Glider. I took it to $7,595. And I was really scared too, because I thought there would be a lot of overlap with the Silver Starshoot, but they don't have the same overlap. I think I might get this wrong, but like the Silver Starshoot had like DK Summit R and T, or I think regular and T, and then the other one, the Silver Manta Glider had just the R, and then like for Rosalina Ice World, I think they both had Rosalina Ice World T, but then one had the regular, one had the R. So not as much overlap as I thought they would, which I was pretty excited about. But anyway, now is a good time to invest in those snow-related items. Now's a good time to a good example would be probably that comet tail, with some of these rainbow roads coming up, in this next tour, followed by maybe some winter stuff, maybe even Vancouver Velocity. We'll see. Which
I know
kind of
people are like triple capping their Santa Bowsers now. Even level 7, everyone's doing it.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of bad.
Yeah, it's a good point. Heroes of the Skies says, with Hiker Wario being in a random pack this tour, we've seen this before. It was kind of some reading the tea leaves. Is it possible we could have Vancouver Velocity coming up in a next tour too? What do you guys think?
Oh, could I say something?
I vote.
Yeah, WootMoo, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, actually, I forgot to answer the last question, but
Sorry. Go ahead.
I actually think that you were saying like what we can see during the winter. I think they're planning a Vancouver finally, because if you notice that these Rosalinas are coming back, Hiker Warrior is coming back, and Premium Challenge in the Premium Challenge, the Comet Tail is actually recently in it. I think they're gonna start cycling through the Vancouver things before they finally release a 3-tour celebration of the Winter Tour, and Vancouver is gonna be the last thing. And that's the one that
I
tracks
see.
around.
You think it's gonna be the finale of that celebration?
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're just trying to hint at something that they're working on. I think that the route is, they're trying to figure out what route they want to do still, and they're still decorating everything on the map and everything.
I thought we already knew that you could go through the hockey
arena,
right?
Mm-hmm. That was I think Hydra was able to discover the whole map. And there was a hockey stadium or something. So they're probably planning something for that soon. I definitely see it coming this winter, especially
Hockey
since
Bro,
we're in
I'm
winter.
calling it.
I can see Shy Guys playing hockey while you're driving by, you know?
Yeah, I think we even saw. I think that one badge has like one of the Hammer Bro, like Ice Bro, like there was like a hockey guy. Or they're like Hockey Bro or something like
Hockey
that.
Bro, yeah.
I'm
calling
that
it.
came up.
I'm calling it.
You're calling it right now. Okay, all right. Hey, you gotta shoot or shoot. So I get that. All right. Well, so before we get to winter tours, we have a space tour. What are your thoughts on what the reveal that we saw today? Just for those watching at home, this is recorded on November 11th. It's Thursday. And we just got this snap. Looks like there will be a Mario alt. Not surprised there. But what do you guys think about a space tour?
I'm gonna let Danny answer because I know she's itching.
I'm so excited. Last time I talked to you on, you asked me what I wanted, and I said I wanted Space Toad, like with a really cool galaxy, like a Milky Way glider or like a rocket cart. I'm stoked for it. I think it's gonna be great.
You never know, he could be the second character. Sometimes they don't show both drivers.
Yeah.
Could be a second.
Well,
I think. Go ahead.
I have a
I'm just
thought.
saying, when you go to the multiplayer screen, you see the little Space Toad just bouncing around everywhere. He's like begging to come out and play.
He is. Jonboy, what do you think?
I was speculating this morning that they could have a Luma as a super,
Ooh, a Luma Super. Okay.
Oh, that'd be
as a
good.
rank up gift.
I'm still thinking they should have a Space Monkey. They gotta have a Diddy reskin. Space Monkey.
Oh my god.
That should have been
Floating
it,
around.
man, I swear.
Like it's.
No, he's gonna have the barrel cannons from Super Smash Bros. On his back, going like this.
Ooh. I like that, man. Oh yeah. So, any other reactions? Any predictions? Any pipes? Any? I guess we're assuming that there's gonna be a lot of Rainbow Roads.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
What
kind of
if it's
thinking
all Rainbow Roads?
to get like an astronaut Mario. I think I'm gonna have to go with his skill as a dash ring on this one, only because it's gonna be in space, so he's more likely gonna be related to that sort of sort of like characteristic kind of thing. So I think that if he got the dash ring, I know that WootMoo would be happy with that.
I thought you were rooting for Bubble.
No. I'm gonna say dash ring on it only because it's like space orientated and everything else. And I mean, yeah, this morning we looked and when I saw it, I went, oh, 3 Rosalinas. Oh, Rainbow Roads. And I went, it's a space tour. I went, Danny's gonna be happy. That's all I said, and I was like, totally called it. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting his skill to be. And in terms of Luma, I think it would be good if Luma was a gift because obviously like, he's like Rosalina's little sidekick guy. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. Yeah, we got him as a free gift, or as a super. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Any other predictions? Any other?
Well, actually, when I opened my phone this morning, I had a ton of pings saying Rosalinas, and they were tagging me saying that Rosalina Halloween is gonna be in ranked again. And I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be a new Rosalina tour, and then there's gonna be Rosalina alt. But when I saw Space Mario, I got a little bummed out because I was hoping that was being Luma, but that's like my one character I want besides a Rosalina alt again. But I think that for the predictions, I think me and my friends have been saying that it's gonna be Rosalina Ice World returning with RT, and then remix Rainbow Road 2 RT. Like, you know how like they had that leaked one in a banner where it showed remix Rainbow Road 2 RT in the background of a banner, but it's never been released yet.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be that track, most likely.
I could see that. I could see that happening. Interesting.
Almost like the
Anything
Ghost
else there?
Valleys. When they leaked the Ghost Valleys, the remix ones.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
they kind of like hide it. Yeah.
Good, like it. Well, while we got the spotlight on you, WootMoo, I know you are going right now through a top 100 grind.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've learned now that you're 8-9 days in. How's the experience been so far for you?
Well, I thought it was gonna be a lot harder, getting up there, but I guess the loadouts were, I got lucky, with them being more in my favor. Mainly because a lot of the supers that I luckily triple capped and brought to level 7, like the exclusive ones, like the bolt buggy and stuff, they happen to be on top shelf a lot. And not only that, but the top shelf high-end gliders that I have, the karts and the drivers, they were like mostly all in my favor. And so I was like, this has to be the sign that I have to get this top 10. I mean, top 100. Otherwise it's like a now or never if this, because the chance of this happening again is like very low. And if I actually want to try, not only that, but I had a lot of time this week. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be harder, but it's not hard. It's like it gets a little annoying. Like doing it, but that's why I've been going into like the live chats and talking with people as I grind, so it passes the time, and it prevents me from going insane as well.
How much time do you think you put into it so far after, I guess, 8 days?
Well, actually, the second day of grinding, I spent 9 hours in the live chat on Kart Life, all day, and I had a ton of people like you Studfit came in. I had like Anka, Dooley, Sammy D, and all these people, and Jonboy stopped by to say hello, and they watched me, and even Stanler stayed the whole time until I finally got a Daisy Hills run. It was pretty funny. But the one person who I want to like give a quick shout out to real quick is my friend Stick. I'm sure you guys know him. I actually pushed him to do a top 100 grind once, and he actually was able to get it. Like, I kept motivating him. I said, don't give up, you have this. And now I guess he's supporting me. He's every single live time I'm doing the live chat, he's always in there watching me, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like Stick. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I guess if there's one thing that you would tell yourself 8 days ago, what would it be?
I would say watch out what you put tickets on, because well, not like I can ticket things like in the past, but like when I'm going through the tour figuring out what I should ticket, make sure you look at everything thoroughly, like, cause I mistakenly put 2 tickets on the bruiser, but then I realized that I was gonna get the peach what's her name, Explorer pack, because I really wanted her, since she had a lot of value and she would complete a lot of my roster. But then I was like, if I'm getting that, I just got the off-roader, and now it's just gonna set at like a half a level forever, and I could've used the tickets on that instead. And that would've helped me on a lot of tracks this tour, for the ACR grind, for the bigger hitbox and stuff. So that's why I started asking people like Anka and God Mode, which I want to shout out those two as well. They've been helping me a lot with deciding what I should ticket. I was telling them, like, should I do Bowser Santa level 7 triple cap, or could I spread out the tickets and bring Koopa and Tuxedo to level 6 and make that frenzy chance higher and get the runs done quicker, and then just keep Bowser Santa as a triple cap, because he went to triple cap this tour. But yeah, I would just always like stash tickets as well, and watch out what you ticket when you're about to do the grind.
Do you have any tickets left?
Actually, I got.
Are there
some
any
tickets.
Moves that you can make?
I could actually bring Bowser Santa to 2 level 7 actually, because I just got more driver tickets in my daily selects. But the only thing is that I already got all the runs done with Bowser Santa, and then there were like crazy runs, like over 200 action runs for all of them. So it's like, I don't really want to do that grind again. It would take too much time. Just for like a few extra 1,000 points. I don't know if it will help that much, but.
What place are you in right now?
Well, actually, for the past 4 days, well, not besides today, I was actually in the top 10 for 4 days, 4 days in a row. First it was like top 9, then it was top 4, then 6, and then 8. Then right now, at this moment, I'm at place number 12, I think. But Anka and Godmo were saying that they've never seen someone be in the top 10 that long and drop down past top 100. So they said I should be okay. I pretty much secured my spot.
Wow. What total are you at right now?
I think I'm at about
1.4?
1,433,000, about that amount.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some polishing runs a little bit, just to go past 1,450,000. I'm not sure like what it's gonna be like on the last like day or two, but yeah.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, good point there. And I know Jonboy's been recently really enjoying getting to the top and sitting there in the top 10 for the first week or two of All Cup ranking. Jonboy, how's it going for you right
now? Excuse me. Actually, I'm on a bit of a break right now. Clan War Leagues just started like Sunday, and that's going to go on for about 3 tours. So I'm just going to sit back, do what I need to in the game, and save my ticket.
I think maybe Frenzy fans, you can correct me if it need be, but I think Alex, he's been pretty accurate about his predictions. What does he have the top 100 for this tour?
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
I'm trying to pull it up as well. He's super accurate. He kind of gives like a floor and a ceiling. But I remember when the tour first came out, it was, I think people were talking about 1.5. I don't think it'll get to quite that high. I think we were thinking about like a 4.75, and then it's gone down and down. Now, of course, we have some last minute grinders, and I think that's kind of changed over the last few tours. You pull it up at all? Not a big deal if you haven't. I think he has 1.426 is what he has it at.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, how has ACR changed over the past few tours? And has your strategy changed? This is a selfish question because I feel like, we're starting to see some of the people that are kind of always in the top 100 start to kind of just, either take a break or, start to not play as grindy. Even like people like Carlos, who, has always been a part of the top 100, just not really go for that grind. I think we've seen some friends I know, Pyro / what's his other nickname?
Borja,
yeah.
Like, I know he was always going for top 100. He's kind of taking a break as well. You've seen these guys who just consistently. Natalie's been in the top 100 a couple times, and not so much recently. But we've seen some of these people who were always going after. Even myself, I fell out of the top 100 a couple tours ago. So I'm just curious, has ACR changed, or is that just, is this anecdotal data that I'm collecting? What do you think, Jonboy? We'll start with you.
I have an opinion. It's mentally draining to do this day in and day out, every tour. And
it is.
It takes a lot of time, and people just get burnt out, and they just need to, step back, enjoy life a little bit. It's not always about the game.
Yeah, no, it's a solid point. Friends and fans, I know you guys probably have had, you've got the top 100. I don't know if you ever thought about going again.
Yeah, so with the announcement this morning of the space tour, I'm thinking it's going to depend on like what tracks are out there and everything, and what my loadout is. But we're also going to have to check Frenzy Fangirl. We might do have both of us try. I would go for ACR 100, have her go for ACR 1000 for the first time.
I've never made ACR yet. Like, the amount of dedication and time that it takes to place, like, I admire all of your guys' delegates, because I have to, be really mentally prepared and committed to it.
So, I think she's been saving up lots of tickets. I think she's kind of, lurking in the background. I think she already has the chops to be able to get into ACR 1000. It's just really the dedication and time commitment that she needs to just sink her teeth into. So this might be a fun one if, since she called it out last week, saying, hey, how great would it be if we had a space tour, and then all of a sudden here you go. So
I've been horny for a moment like
Uh,
this.
Oh
I don't know
my
if you guys can
goodness.
see.
They look like double digits. That's
Lots of
yeah.
double digits.
24, 23.
And yesterday I had over like 50 super driver tickets, but I got a yellow toad and took him to level 7.
Smart.
yeah.
Smart. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And that actually kind of brings us to EDietel's question. And yeah, we kind of anyone who's going to mention and give feedback. I think this is, yeah, go for it, man.
I'd like to say something real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to give a big shout out to my fiance, Jongirl. And if it weren't for her and her encouragement, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
We'll be doing all cup ranking.
I wouldn't be doing ACR. I probably wouldn't be playing the game anymore.
Wow.
You know, I got real burnout. You know,
Yeah.
after 2 years
Expect to do like
doing
a-
it straight, it's just, it took a toll on me, man. And I appreciate her support and the community as well.
That's a good point. You know, I think for friends and fans, like it does help to have a community, have someone in your corner to cheer you on. Similar to like WootMoo and Stick, like it really helps to be able to have that support. I'm really hoping that Knights finds that support because he's still got to get his top 100 grind, don't you?
Yeah, I almost had a last tour, and here's my advice. Make sure you use the tracker on all your courses. I did not do that last tour, and it was a big mistake, and I started getting overwhelmed. I didn't know where else to improve. I didn't track any of my races of the max stuff, and I overwhelmed myself the last minute because like every day I'll get pushed down, and I'll get back up, and I'll get pushed down more, and the benchmark kept on getting higher and higher. At first it was like low 14, like 1.4, like 3, and all of a sudden it kept going higher and higher to like 1.5. 1.5, I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna get it. And then the last day, I kept on trying, I just got burnt out, and I just needed like 10,000 more points, and I couldn't get it anywhere. And if I just got 10,000 more points, I would have gotten it, but I ended up in 110. Just my advice, just be sure to use the tracker, because.
And you're talking about the DKR's ACR
exactly.
sheet? Yeah.
That's what I'm actually using this
what
for.
was doing.
Yeah, I'm
I
using it.
didn't do that, and I just started like, oh, maybe I can. I know I might get a good run there. I didn't get a run there. Yeah, I only got a coin frenzy there. Maybe I can try a little bit more, and ended up not getting anything. I'll just get like another coin frenzy and just beat it. So it's like it's overwhelming, like Jonboy said. It's like it's tiring, like trying to track everything, making sure you're getting like the best runs. You get a run and it gets destroyed by a bot. It's like, and I gotta try even longer. I could have been done with it in like the first 10 minutes, and I gotta take 2 hours. So I don't know. I'm burnt out now. And I'm gonna wait until another tour where I have really good stuff. I didn't want to do a trick tour where all my coins are jumping everywhere. I get a high score, so it's like I hate trick tracks. It's like I don't know. I can't stand my coins flying everywhere. It's like especially with the tokens, they're even horrible. They drive me crazy. So the first thing I do is grind all my tokens up so I can get to run. Because like I don't know. I'm totally against tokens. Like I love token events, but I hate them. For story wise.
You bring up a good point, Jonboy. I know you were not a DKR all cup ranking tracker believer, and now you've been using it here recently, right?
Yeah. I mean, imagine when we started, day one, and we've been grinding ACR every day, every tour, and we didn't have any of this. I mean, we was just winging it, man. We had to figure it out, and I finally decided, like, hey, I'm gonna try it. You know, it's kind of tedious trying to do it on your phone, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put my mind right. I'm just gonna do it, and it's made a really big difference. I mean, humongous difference.
Tell us about that difference. Does it help you be able to plan better, or you know now like a little bit more like how much more gain you have, or tell us a little bit more.
It's like, you know, I know where I need to invest my time. You know, I could be wasting my time on a track for like 2K when I can go over to this other track and get 10K. So it's been a real big help. And once Clan War Leagues is done, I'm probably gonna make a top 10 run, save up my tickets,
Oh
and
boy.
see where it goes.
We'll be rooting you on, man.
All right.
That's exciting.
If you guys would excuse me for like 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely, man. By all means. I'll actually say, kind of piggyback off of that you mentioned that with Knights. That we did not. I didn't. When I went for a top 10 badge, I got a number 11, and I was 9,000 points different. But I will say, in the last day, I was able to go up. I think something like 12,000 points. And I wish I know that if I had that spreadsheet, I would have done better. I know I would have gotten top 10 100% because I was surprised some of the shorter tracks I got more points from than I thought I was. I got so hung up on maximizing this the 3DS Rainbow Road, and I just kept grinding. Cause I'm like, I know that there's more points here. I know there's more points here. But I was like, I wasted too much time trying to go for these big tracks when there was still a lot of room left on these smaller tracks. I think I might have told the story, 4 or 5 times, but Ghost Valley, I was just writing it down. I got, double coin box, 2 singles. I'm done. But, if you're gliding not all coin boxes are the same. I found out at that point in time, action count is king. And, just going off your feel, going off of your gut is not enough. And to know exactly how many points are left over goes a long, long way. So I highly recommend that. And that's kind of leading into EDietel's question. When a new tour is released, how do you go about deciding whether or not to push for top 1,000, top 100, or top 10? He says asking for a friend. So put some humor in there. But how do you do? I know we kind of talked a little bit about it, but how do you decide whether or not to go for a top 1,000, top 100, top 10? WootMoo, why this tour?
Well, as I was saying before, I just noticed that I had some tickets left over. And then I just noticed that all the tickets, a lot of the loadouts were all in my favor. As you saw, Halloween Rosalina got a buff, Tanuki Rosalina got a buff, all these characters that are non-coin box that I invested to are all on these tracks. And they're making the paywall tracks very strong for me. Versus someone else who has 1, 2, 1 or no top shelf at all. Which gives me the advantage. Not only that, but all these coinbox drivers that I also invested to, they're all working together at this one time to give me this one opportunity to have the top to grind for that badge. Versus last tour where I thought I had the chance, I noticed that Knights had way better loadouts than me, and he was also struggling. And I noticed that if I attempted, I would waste all my energy on a tour where I wouldn't get the badge anyways. So I would say just save the tickets, rack up the tickets like what Frenzy Girl's doing, and wait for that tour where most of the things you have or invested to are in your favor. And then that's when you decide if it's your chance to go for that badge.
I think the other thing as well that helps you with that is the fact that you do have the spreadsheets as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That is opposed to, you can just put that information in, you know exactly what you're going to get, and then you know if you can actually make that push or not. Mm-hmm. So even if you can't, you still have the opportunity, like you say, to still save those tickets, to invest in that tour, and to literally do that push. And I mean, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. And I think that while we do stuff like this, we also need to remember as well to have some fun. Because I know that a lot of people do get disgruntled and they do get upset, and it's like, yeah, I did all this for nothing. And the thing is that you don't do it for nothing, you do it for fun.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things for us, because when I first got my ACR badge, I was like, I want to be up there, I want to be up there. And when I got that very first badge, I was like, yeah, I did it. And now I can look at that and then incorporate how I go about it. But it's also about the way how you drive, because if you're just going to use the steer button, then you're just going to hit a deadlock and you're going to hit that stealth and you can't go any further. And that's one of the things as well that a lot of people need to try and master, because when you're drifting and when you're doing it manual, that is one of the hardest things in the world to do. Because I was watching John when he came over for the 2 weeks, and I was watching how he did it, and I'm still learning now, and I'm still trying to get it, but I know that if I put in that time, that dedication and that effort, I can do it, but I still have to remember to at the same time, if I don't make it, don't get upset, don't be stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up two good points I kind of want to touch on. One is that, like you mentioned, you can put your information into that spreadsheet, and it'll tell you roughly what your points could be. You know, so if you're spreading out, putting the spreadsheet, it's like, oh, you're going to get to 4.2. You're like, oh, geez, it's not enough. And you can look at Alex's numbers and say, there's still too wide of a gap there. But maybe I can play around with this. Maybe I can invest in tickets here. And you could, try to get close. But, I think a good goal would be 90% of that spreadsheet. If you look at 90 and then you plug that all in, that's kind of the number you should go off of and see if, am I close or am I going to exceed it? It still needs some wiggle room because you may not be able to get 90% on all those runs. So I like that idea. And then two is just remember you have fun. And if you do have some sports system, I would recommend Frenzy fans, you might want a safety word or some way to just be like, I'm stressed out. If you guys go at the same exact time, it might be good to stagger it because you guys could be butting heads because just I don't know, there's just some anxiety about it. I don't know. Put some boundaries on how serious you guys are taking it. Give me some tips.
Jongirl already knows. How many times?
I've heard him scream. I've heard him yell. I've heard him say, "Why game? Why?" And yeah, it's just a case of just keeping him smiling and happy and stuff. And I think, like you say, it's good to have that friend there with you who's gonna help you to keep on going. And it is great to take time out from the game as well, and just do something else for a few hours or for a day. Because me myself, I haven't played for 3 days because I've been working, so I've not been able to do it. But it's been a relaxing time as well because I know that I checked my position yesterday and I was 283, I think. So I know that there are tracks that I do need to work on, but real life does get in the way. And end of the day, it's about fun, and that's just the way it is.
There's been those times where I'll tell her, I'm just done. I can't play anymore today. My hands hurt, my head hurts. I'm going to go take a nap.
It is for me. It's I do when I'm grinding too much. I always have to do something outside or something fresh air or the exact opposite to get my mind off of it. Because even then, if I'm just doing something around the house after grinding, I'm still thinking about what if I had done this? Or what if I got that? Oh, that one bot. Just you got to have to kind of remove yourself from even the house. It's my good coping mechanism.
Go shop.
Shopping? Okay, all right.
That goes on my mind.
If you have to put all your money in the packs, but. Yeah, good point. So I would say a couple other things I've noticed is that tours like this with the verses, where the tokens are always there. If you are a coin box heavy investor, I think most best practices players are, this could be a tough tour to get those red coins. Just because versus getting rid of that and really capitalizing on your coin box investment makes things a little different. I'd say even I would say trick tours and RT tours like this tour is more difficult because you have a lot. I think you'd be very surprised how many whale accounts are out there that can't full combo or non-stop combo tracks that by having all these tricks they're getting they're able to full combo and not drop combo much more frequently, and that does make the competition more tough. So if you are a good driver, you're going to want to be on non-trick track or non-RT track tours. Just as my recommendation, if you have no problem full comboing, not doing what WootMoo is doing is probably the best way to do it. Now, WootMoo is very talented, very great driver, so he has no problem keeping combo. He's probably making it tougher going at this tour, but I just would say, if you're a good driver, you can full combo, but you don't have everything at 6 and 7. You might want to wait for their to not be a trick tour. And or pumpkins. The pumpkins definitely increased the scores and did help, I think, the casual whales who aren't as good but have strong accounts. And really the other tip I would give is just make sure you have enough time. You can fill out spreadsheets till you're blue in the face, but if you don't have enough time to put into the tour, I know I'm traveling next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm not even like I'm not putting it up for chance. I've started my All Cup ranking grind even earlier because I just know I'm not going to wait to the last minute, just because I don't have that bandwidth late into the tour. So those are a couple of tips I had. Any feedback on those guys?
Oh, I have one thing. Oh,
Studfit, I got something.
Go for it, Jonboy. You got
I
it.
want to make a counter argument,
Okay.
but this is actually a really good tour to go for ACR. Because no, it's not because it was a trick tour. It's because a lot of people are burnt out and they're not interested in the tour, and they're just not playing as much. And you can see by the ACR, the scores are way down. So,
well, I think that might also be true for the Space Tour. I think you make a good argument for now versus 6 months ago. I'm specifically talking about being a lot of trick. You have people that aren't that good at the game doing really well. Which I think you'd probably agree with. But I think you bring up a good point too. Is just that the All Cup rankers are starting to kind of get a little burnt out, and I think I agree with that.
If you guys all want to take next tour off, I'm totally okay with that.
like I said, I'm taking the next 3 off. Focus on multiplayer, a little less on ACR, and then we'll make a swing at it.
Nice, were you gonna say something?
Top 1,000 is sleep, so that doesn't help me out.
oh no.
Nice, were you gonna say something?
Nah, but just a point for next tour, if you're thinking about doing ACR, there's gonna be a lot of Rainbow Road, and that's a very long course. So if you want to put a lot of time into grinding that long race, then go for it. But that is one of the races that prevents me from not doing ACR, just because it's such a high scoring race, and everyone's gonna outscore you on there. So everyone's gonna be getting 50, 60k while you're gonna be sitting at 30, 40. So it really depends on your loadout. If you're just going about 1,000 or 100, those are going to be your heavy races, and then the little ones sprinkled in. But for me personally, when I go for ACR, I always get top 1,000 so easily. I had to try half the time, but what makes me think oh, maybe I can get top 100 is, can I get to 1 million without trying? So then if I get to 1 million, I just have to actually try to get those extra 500, 600, 400,000 points add on to there. That's just the way I do it as a dolphin.
When you guys do the longer races like Rainbow Road, do you have a certain rule? Obviously it'll be different based off the actual race, but how frequently do you reset versus completing the race to try it again?
I would say for myself, I kind of treat every track the same when it comes to resetting off that first item box. I do do a couple runs. Now the thing is, if you're doing a couple runs and then you're resetting, there's so much. I think it's time based, and so if you, it's hard to grind down those bots, in my opinion, on the longer tracks because more time goes on between the tracks. That's my opinion. I have no facts to back that up, but. So I think I'm willing to kind of jump in with bots more frequently with those longer tracks. But I think for me, my general thought process now is that really any action count above 200 is really not moving the needle. And we've kind of done some facts around this. You're not getting those combo points, the bonus points above action count 200. So I wouldn't get too hung up. And again, that's kind of my point earlier. I got so hung up on trying to get 250 or something like that. There was a couple people got 300, so I was aiming for that, but it would have only brought up my score an additional 1,000 or 2,000 for. I think we did the math. I think adding an additional 20 actions plus over 200 only was giving you 1,000 to 2,000 points, something like the 1,600 range or something like that. So I would not get too hung up on those tracks. I would just try to get to 200 actions and move on, just to kind of there's a point of diminishing return that I was not aware of at the time. So that's how I would treat it. But I would still, when it comes to resetting, I would still go off that first box.
Actually, I have something to add to that.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I mean, it depends on the track, really. But I got a 3-box rule. 3 boxes, no frenzy, reset.
matter what track or just for these longer ones?
Just the longer ones. On a $3 track, you have to have it box 2. Now on a 2-box track, first box are quick.
Does that help, Frenzy Fan Gal?
Yeah, I like that.
Good points there, for sure. All right, so we have a question. We're going to move away from All Cup ranking, especially because we talked a lot about All Cup ranking, mainly because Tabor's not here. Tabor hated All Cup ranking conversations, so we spared him that conversation. But I thought that'd be a good segue because we have a question from Tabor. He dropped some data on us, even remotely, which we love, and then asked a great question. So as of this Toad versus Toadette tour, there are currently 134 drivers, 186 carts, and 130 gliders in the game, totaling 450 items, drivers, carts, gliders, in the game. There are also 259 courses, 8 cities, and 179 non-city courses. So this question is, with the sheer amount of items and courses in the game, how can new players join this game and not feel overwhelmed or behind? To Tabor, the current state of this game is geared towards whales and or day one players, and feels like it would be very difficult for someone to jump in, and he's stated the case extremely well. What are your thoughts? And it might be good to have this question when we have some new players on this game, but say Jongirl, I mean, I know you've kind of gotten competitive here recently. What are your thoughts? Is it overwhelming? Does it seem too daunting of a task?
I mean, no matter what game you're going to play, everyone has to start off somewhere, So, yeah, we do have the carts, the gliders, and the drivers as well. And, yeah, you are going to start out at the bottom, but at the same time, you've got to put in that time and that dedication. So, I know for me, when I first started to play, I was, like, almost a year in. And yeah, it's overwhelming, and yeah, you can see what other players have, and yeah, you do get a little bit downsided when you don't make those scores, but it's because you've not been playing the game for so long, so you have to put that time and energy in. But for me, I mean, I didn't find it overwhelming as such. I found it interesting to see where it goes, but it's just a case of literally putting in the time, putting in the grind, and that you will get to your level 10, your level 20s, you will get to your tier 70 eventually, and you will be on the ACR list. And I think the first time I got onto the ACR list myself, I said, okay, I've done that, that's me. So it is possible to do, and with all the players as well. I mean, you have players every day that drop out the game, so we get new players in, we get whales going out, and it's still the possibility, it's still the hope. I mean, yeah, you can't just give up on it just because somebody's like top 100, top 10, top 1000, because you will get there. You just got to put in that time, that energy, and if you know that you can't commit to that, then maybe it's not the game for you. If that kind of makes sense. But I didn't get overwhelmed with it too much, but I knew I had work to do. And as long as you recognise that, then yeah, you can do anything with it, really. But I think it is geared more towards the whales, only because the whales are the ones that started the game. They made the game what it is, and the game has evolved around them. So they will always be up there, but then it's those whales too that can give you the advice in terms of what to do, how to play the game, how to use your strategy, and how to get up there with them too. Because I mean, one guy was free to play. I saw it in I think it was Carlos' server the other day, and he'd been free to play for since day one, and he's just made top 1000. So yeah, anything's possible.
Good points.
I can answer this question. So I think the reason why new players don't get as overwhelmed these days is because the whole meta and the whole community of this game has changed since the launch. Like, as day one players, we had nothing. There was literally the only way to get rubies and coins was ranks and stuff, and there was limits that were lower than what we have now. There was no token shop. There was so many changes that we didn't experience. Everything was so minimalistic back then. All we had was 100 pipes that we had to drain for. We didn't have free pipes. We didn't have all this stuff. So joining the game now, there's so much stuff to do, like to get things. Like you have free pipes, you have special pipes now, where you can get stuff easily. You can catch up by just focusing on special pipes. Like we see Carlos focusing on special pipes with his gold pass and free to play, and they're able to catch up because that's all he does on those accounts. And like as long as you're like, and also the big difference as well is these communities have grown so much since launch. So people have access to resources like data sheets and people's opinions and like other resources of like what to do, like what's the next step. Like we didn't have that back then, so we were all just like walking blindly like of what to pull for, like. And now it's like, oh, if I knew what I knew back then, I would have never pulled for this, or I would have did this differently, you know. I would have maybe spent more, I would have spent less. But you know, it's like, I think it's a lot easier for people now to catch up. I know it's still like overwhelming. You open the game, everything's darked out. You have nothing for rank top shelf. But I told them last stream, I recommended someone playing the game now. I told them don't buy anything if you know you're not going to play this game. Just subscribe to the Gold Pass. Like make sure you cancel that if you're not going to play. But I found out he's actually still playing the game, and he's still he says he's like playing it like every day, like. And I guess he likes it. I never really cut his account yet, but. You know, like some people, I think if you're joining the game now, most people just play for fun. They're not thinking of it competitively. A lot of people that like think of the game that are joining late and didn't hear about it already are not like grinders. They're gonna like play the game casually just for fun and here and there log in. And then maybe they'll phase out, they don't want to play anymore, but maybe they'll just keep trying. And then like Jongirl, like she joined super late, like exploration tour, and now she's catching up. So I think it's just everyone's different. If you're gonna spend money late in the game, if you're gonna be free to play, yeah, you know, I just think they have it easier now.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the game is it's kind of like a lot about. It's very similar to life, right? Like if you're always comparing where you're at to where people who the best of the best, right? Like you're gonna always feel like you have this huge gap between the two of you guys, and you're gonna find disappointment in that. So like. If you're really looking for, like, quality mental health through it, like, make little competitions with yourself. Like, the coolest thing about the game is when you do get first in, like, your competition is at the same level as you. It's not like you're being thrown in with the whales, right? So, do your best to start, like, an acquisition game. Like, how can I get these things in a smart way? And, like, compete with yourself, not with people who are at a different level. That'd be my best advice.
Yeah, all solid points. I will say, you know, I started late as a pandemic player, and I only went into special pipes because I was like, this is the best bang for my buck, and I was playing catch up, so I didn't like pull on 100 pipes at all. Really, for like now I've been pulling them mainly because they're like great skills. I have to have them. Boomerang, Lucky 7, Coin Box. But really, like, when I was starting, I probably wasn't going to pull on those pipes, even for those types of skills. Because it didn't make sense for me to put my rubies towards that. When I could get, like, you know, even look at these special pipes here, they're catered more to a newer player. You know, I think a lot of us, I looked at these pipes, I'm like, I'm not really interested in these because I already have a lot of these items, whereas they're catered now, packs as well. If you think about last week, the 2 new carts, with Coinbox drivers. So if like whale one of those packs, are going to get coins for those Coinbox drivers. And so I think that things are catered more towards the newer players. But here's the thing: is like, you know, I think this community in general, because we're already like in develop like with each other in Discord and YouTube, and like we all know each other. But really, like we're only just a fraction of the community that's out there. And like we're talking amongst each other because we're all at the top of that tier. We're all at like tier 70, and we think about like there's 70 tiers, right? So I don't know like how they're dispersed. My guess is like 50% of them are there in top tier 70, and we're all kind of just like, all right, cool, we're here at the top. What do we, you know? When is level 200 coming? When is level 8 coming? When is tier 80 coming out? We're all just like waiting for something because we're already at the top. There are so many people that are starting out, and the game is actually really well developed to help those people get from tier 1 to tier 50. You know, like, you know, it is addicting. And I know from hearing from Antelev, he's like, start a new account. I think you'd find it much more fun. You know, the investing and stuff like that. It is really fun. I know, like, we have one of our newer members, Danny Sarko, commented and says, he said, you know, I'm still formulating my opinion and use cases the last few months, but I'm buying pretty much every pack I can because I have to get as competitive as fast as possible. And that's like a mindset of a newer player who's just tapping into this community. Well, I would say, you know, don't feel like you have to buy every pack. And like, but they feel like they want to be competitive. And for them, they just want to be more competitive than those people that are in their rank or that's in there. I would say try not to catch up to people like Carlos, people like myself, or really the majority of people on this call. But just enjoy this process and enjoy the investing. You know, definitely leverage the resources you have out there. But you know, I think to Tabor's opinion, like we have such a like interesting way of thinking about it because we have this community and we're all like talking amongst each other. But I think the new people aren't letting that beat them up. I think that they're still excited about it and they're still being, you know, interested in being competitive to a certain extent. That's my opinion there. I'll get off the soapbox though. What are your guys' thoughts? Anything you disagree with?
I don't think I disagree with anything. I think that you're right in what you say. You know, you have to take it bit by bit and step by step. And if you're gonna think to yourself, yeah, you have to buy every single thing in the game, then make sure you got deep pockets. But I think that for me, I started a free-to-play account as well for my son. And while I've kind of pushed that to the side because I'm like, okay, I can't handle 3 accounts on the go. Because it's going to be physically impossible to do. So I concentrate on 2. So my other one, I don't tend to play as much on it, but I will still send the coins as usual to people because I have about 48 people on there and I thought I can't just reject that account to play in another one. And yeah, I mean, that one has tiered down quite a bit. But yeah, it's fun in itself, it's fun in the game. And yeah, you know, you just gotta be competitive, but make sure that, yeah, you can still enjoy life, you can still take that step back, you can still do what you've got to do, and not get overwhelmed, caught up, and decided you can't do what you need to. And I think that's what a lot of people need to remember, that it is just a game. And I see a cat.
That's cute.
I had to grab my charger, but I got a cat.
You grab the charger and came back with a cat.
This is the ATR cat. This is the cat that's been ruining Michael WootMoo's run.
Oh,
yeah.
His kitten comes and jumps on the keyboard and starts messing him up.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Yeah, some people who join the live stream will know that when they watch. Like I say, oh my god, I literally just got double coin frenzy. This kitten just keeps growing on the laptop, and not only that, but she broke the laptop too. She turned it off, and then it wouldn't connect to the internet anymore.
Oh no. I just totally lost my train of thought when I saw the cat.
Steal the show. Yeah, awesome. Well, Kartado asks a good question that I think could help some of these new players who are trying to be competitive. His question is about old inventory versus new. How old do you think an item needs to be before you stop investing in it? For example, he has a level 3 Hiker Wario in rank this week, surrounded by new drivers at level 1. In a situation like this, should he take the old driver higher, or do you think it's to invest in a new driver? Same question for Karting Glider. Your thoughts, guys?
I would say, look at the new drivers and see, like, because the new drivers are always going to be the ones who are going to get buffed. Because we've already seen this, like, we have so many drivers now, we look at them with the old ones, like 2019, 2020 versus the 2021 drivers, and we see that the newer drivers are always getting more and more value. Like, if you look at Black Birdo and soon Tanuki, Rosalina, and Mario, they're gonna get bloated with value. So if you have the choice between Wario, Hiker, and you have Rosalina at Tanuki at 1, go with Tanuki, Rosalina, because she's gonna be the one who's gonna cover you more in the future. Versus Hiker Wario, he probably only covers you on that track and in like 2 others. And like, you were saying, like, with the spreadsheet, you plug in the drivers that you have and everything, and it tells you what they cover and overlaps and everything. you can also use something like that to tell you, it will determine if you actually want to continue investing to that driver that's already at level 3 versus, if you did the newer driver, what potential they have for your account. Something like that.
I think the other thing as well that we need to remember too is that we always look at the cities versus the non-city drivers
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
And I find that when we invest in drivers that are non-city, those are the ones that are going to get buffed obviously first.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we have a full city tour, we're like, oh my god, what did we do? Because our drivers are so low. So I think that every driver is worth investing in, obviously not at the same speed, but we still have to catch when I cat. Sorry.
I'll
Yeah.
just a little distracting.
It's okay. I think that, yeah, we still have to remember that even though we do have drivers that are city drivers, we still need to invest in them, because when that tour does come back around, that does put us in a good spot too at the same time. So it's about finding that balance in between, because,
exactly.
you know, if you don't have the balance and if you don't have the driver that you need, for example, when the anniversary tour came around, I was like, oh my god, I have a level 1, I have a level 2. And I didn't even know what in the world to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a case of waiting for those tickets within the shop or having them from the premium challenge cards. And that was all the way to rank those players up. So I think that every driver is worth investing. Same as the carts, same as the gliders, but obviously not at the same speed. So we take it up, but we still do what we have to do to make sure that we can still use them effectively. So I think every single item in the game is important as the other one.
Yeah.
But on different levels.
Also, to add on to that, like what you were saying with the balancing and everything, that can also be said with the skills too. I see a lot of people saying that they always either do the top 3 skills and top 4, like giant banana, coin box, boomerang, triple banana, and I forget the last one. Oh, lucky 7. And the thing is, like, not those, like, we already see, like, this pattern where they'll always bring a new track and none of those abilities are even seen. Like, they're only bomb cannons, double bombs, like, triple mushrooms are only on the top shelf. So, we can invest into all the coin box drivers and everything, but we also have to remember that there's also the non-top tier abilities that are also going to be on there. I remember there's one rank cup where it was no coin box drivers and only like one lucky 7 driver, where it was like, or 2 or something like that, I forget. And none of the, like, all the people who only invest into coin box drivers, like, basically lost to people who invest into, like, the low tier items. And I guess, like, if you balance between the skills, that can also be something that we also consider.
Yeah, certainly good points there. You know, I think a lot of your conversations around ranked, and I think that a lot of people play for ranked to get the ranked rubies. And I think that's where the top 10 really does a good job now. Is like, you think about it, and like I described on the rundown, it's like a power rankings, and like, you know, these are probably the most likely to have some type of ranked appearance next tour. You know, how many times have we had like a top 10 driver, and the next tour they're in ranked, and then the next tour they're in ranked, and the next tour they're in ranked? It's like, those are just the hottest items at the moment. And you bring up a good point, is that, I feel like they purposely go out of their way to feature tracks that don't have coin box, really just to keep it exciting. And I think that's kind of what people have been asking about this whole time. I think, though, this example that Kartada Wade brings up is like the perfect example, even for myself. I recently took Kangaroo Yoshi, aka Bounce, to level 7, and I had, I think, 22 high-end driver tickets, which was the most I've ever had. I don't even know. I just kept getting them in my shop, but I was never getting Kart or gliders, only driver tickets. And so I dropped 14 on him. So and then I got a couple more. So I'm sitting at like right now 11, and I'm contemplating on, should I take Rosalina Tanuki from level 1, or should I use Builder Mario or Mario Hiker, who are at like level 4. And for me, it's just like, I could save 5 tickets by not throwing it on her, but then I'm like, I have tickets. I'm like, am I waiting for something, or what am I waiting for? I do think Rosalina, out of all the new drivers that have that track, I think Rosalina Tanuki is probably the best one to invest in, because I think she's going to be the one that is the curse of Mario, him not getting that buff. And we've seen Builder Mario and Wario Hiker does not have great coverage. But I actually, with all this being said, I did throw on. I got the Builder Mario pack a couple times. I did use 3 tickets on him to take him to 6, and that's my solution. I really wanted have this ranked be really, really good for me. But I think for me, putting 3 tickets on him, or to take Rosalina and put 9 tickets on her to take her to level 6, I just 3 versus 9. I had to go 3, and for me, that was just I had to make. The way brings up a good point too. From his perspective, he could save 2 tickets by not throwing it on them. I think in that case, though, it might make sense to throw a couple tickets on Rosalina Tanuki and have her level 3 or maybe 4. But this is the exact situation where people are in. It's I don't want to put tickets on Wario Hiker, and I want to put it on something new. But this is a 2-ticket difference. And my personal advice to anyone in this situation is just try not to put tickets on any one of them. Use Hiker Wario and just see if you can just try to not use tickets. If you absolutely have to, how many tickets do you have? If you have over 15, feel free to put it on Tanuki Rosalina. But other than that, if you just need to make an additional 1,000, I think the case here would have to be put it on Hiker Wario, or and have him at level 4, get the special skill plus or whatever. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this very specific situation here in ranked?
I kind of you go ahead then.
So I was thinking, I'm actually kind of surprised, Studfit, that you were contemplating putting tickets on, either Tanuki or Lena. Or I've noticed that, I don't know, for the past dozen or so ranks, that there are always 2 really strong horses that I have, and then there's one that's a weaker horse. And every single week we do, our rank review.
Yeah.
We take a look at our loadouts, and we take a look at how many points we predict that we can get, and then we look at our competition. And every single week, I'm always debating, okay, should I put some tickets on, Furry Baby Donkey, or Koala Baby Mario, and I'm always ready to do it, but I find that when I grind the other 2 tracks that I already have strong loadouts on, that by the time I get to that 3rd track, I really don't need to invest the tickets, and so I keep on saving the tickets. And then there's a tour that comes around that's a Chemic. It's okay, I'm excited for this one. I'm actually going to invest everything that I've saved over the past several tours and invest it in, these specific 3 items. And now I've noticed that between Chemic, Silver King, and the Dream Glider, they're always in ranked. And now they're part of my strong loadout for each course. And so it's kind of this rolling thing where I think if you can get away with being strengthening your strong loadout. So if you have 2 or 3 tickets and you're only 1,000 points away, I would almost say level up Bowser Santa, level up one of your strong drivers, and get the score that you want or need on those drivers, because they're actually going to be used more, over the entirety of the game than you are these random weeks where you have, oh my gosh, Warrior Hiker. I've never seen him before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see him. If we do a time or 2, then that's great. You get some use out of it, but it's probably not going to. You're not going to be using them a lot over the next 6 months, but you will be using some of these other drivers that are kind of your powerhouse drivers. So I don't know.
Yeah. One of the things I do too, and not that this is right for everyone, I'm not a level 70 driver yet. I'm just at level 62 too. So I think my strategies might be different than
Tier.
Yeah, sorry, tier 62. But one thing that I'll do too is a lot of times we think that the biggest strength is going to come from our drivers, but it will really be in a glider, right? So for example, the 8-bit mushroom, this tour, he's actually, if you get him to level 6, which I know is a strong investment, he's a triple feature, right? So instead of worrying so much about oh, if I take Builder Mario to level 4, I'll get an extra 1,000 points on this. It's if I can get this thing to level 6, then I'll get an extra 1,000 points on this course, 2,000 on this course, and 1,500 on this course, and overall, like, that ends up being a greater bang for the buck. So just be like super diligent with like actually like looking and seeing what your loadouts for everything, and see what will give you like the most compound interest rather.
That's exactly what I do too. I just anything that double features, just always do it. I mean, sometimes it's not always a guarantee, but anytime you see a double feature, you should always consider that. And what I was gonna say is, I think the special Wario Hiker thing is a special case, because I remember in the past trick tour, they kind of like pumped these packs out in multiples, and we saw Aurora, Rosalina, and everyone was like in a pack, and then she's like, oh, Victor was coming soon now, and then they never came. So I kind of think it's just like one of those cases where it's just so random. They just pick drivers, like cherry picking drivers, like they wouldn't think would be in a pack, and then they're in a pack. These old they tend to do spotlight drivers, like drivers that usually won't be in like a guarantee special pipe or only a spotlight. So I think they just do it just to be random. And for my choice of investments, I do like a combination of like what all you guys do. But the one thing I was gonna say, oh yeah, whenever I make an investment, I kind of think about it as like long term. So like, oh, let's say my Tanuki wasn't sick right now. I'll make her 6 just for like the long term. Like this race, they tend to bring new tracks back a lot, like especially like these Ghost Valley stuff, like these RMX tracks. They always return, and it's always the same version. So if it ever comes back again, I already have it there. And even if I end up like I make her 6 and then I get passed again, I can't beat him anymore, I'll still have that item. And it's not like I lose the item like after this tour, like I'll never use her ever again. So I'd rather put in like Tanuki Rosalina, because like even if I lose, I still have her at 6. So each time she comes up, she'll be my level 6 driver. So it's not like a complete loss. Like, so I tend to just think about like these old, anything old, you might as well just like forget about at this point, because the meta of this game has changed to be like favoring always new items, and all these old new items are getting cycled out, and the newer items get cycled in. It's like anything below that, if it comes randomly in ranked, that's like the only time it's gonna be ranked. Like my Ghost Ride just pops up at level 3 on Paris one day, and never ranked again ever since. And then like Rosalina Halloween, she comes up on Paris, and then like she shows up again after like 6 months, and it's like, it's just gonna be random for every old driver, every old cart, every old glider. So you gotta consider that. You just look at their value. You can fit their values in like a whole page at a time, and that's one new track they added. Like, well, like all these other new things, look at like 2, 3, 4, and then like all in one tour. So I would just focus on new stuff and like long-term investments. Cause like, and just look at the race too. If you think that race is gonna come back to rank again, like Roar Raceway RT, which I still don't have a good driver for, so luckily Peach keeps popping me up on top shelf there. So like, it's think about what races you think are gonna pop up again. But I would just focus on new stuff and long term, and double race features, like Frankie Gal said. That's a really good point. So I like that.
Yeah, we talk about that double feature as a part of the rundown. Where that overlap is, what items are used multiple times for ranks, which ones are unlocked at level 3 and level 6. Mainly for that reason is people want to maximize and get double feature, if at all possible. You guys bring up really good points. All things equal, you should buff the new stuff. But I think there's situations where Nintendo knows what they're doing. They're giving us like you're just having to decide, do I use extra tickets here or not? So I want to bring in, because we're kind of rounding things out a little bit, the great question from EDietel. So our Super Stud members are able to join us anytime for Kart Talk, but we've opened up video questions for our Stud members. So if you'd like to have your video read, feel free to look at those memberships as well. EDietel has a question. Let me see if we've had some technical difficulties here. Let's see if we can get him on. Let's see here.
EDietel here. Feeling inspired by the return of Strat of the Week, thank you, Studfit, I decided to record a question and send it into the distinguished panel. So my question is about categories of karts and gliders. I think we've speculated for some time that Nintendo might be favoring certain classes of items over others. My question is, do they really? For example, we've talked a lot about black items and how Nintendo seems to really love and buff up these black items. But then I noticed that we have a black B-Dasher and we have a black circuit that don't seem to get that kind of attention. We've had several dark items over the last couple of years, and even though they look the same, at least to me, they don't seem to get that same level of attention as the black items maybe do. But we also have a new red cactus, we have a new yellow off-roader this tour. My question is, are we noticing patterns here that are not really there? Or do we still, after 2+ years, do we still think that Nintendo is actually favoring certain categories of items over and above others? And while we're on the topic of categories, thinking about karts and gliders, I would love to know what your favorites are, and I'd love to know if there's any that you really don't care for, that you wish Nintendo would stop making and stop releasing. So, thank you to the panel, thanks Studfit, and thank you for another Kart Talk. We love it. Keep it up, guys.
Awesome. So cool to see EDietel and have his question. So he asked, I think, 7 different questions in one, so we'll try to take it one by one. Are black items, is that a thing? You know, where black items are more powerful than non-black items?
I think it's skill-based, to be honest. Have you noticed that a lot of the black items have the worst skills, like Blown Cannon?
I like Bullet Bill.
Bullet Bill, even though it's some casuals will think it's a bad skill, but us grinders will say it's a good skill just because coin box and stuff, but I think they just favor bad skill items, like Rocket Start. Black is like the Black Dozer. And I tend to see the dark items as separate. They're more of Halloween items. They're not they're a different theme. They're not black. They're dark items. So Dark Hot Rod, Dark Trickster, they're not the same as black items. They have a glowish neon colors to them. And then silver, they'd be the metal B-Dasher, then we got the silver Manta. They kind of get their own medium value. And the gold items, the reason why the gold items don't seem as good is because they're always returning them, so you're not going to give them the best value. They're always in the gold special types. The only reason why they seem cool is because they're gold and they always appear in rank, but they're not going to get the best value. So, and then everything else is kind of just random. I think Lucky 7 drivers tend to have not that good a value, to be honest. I don't know why anyone else hasn't noticed that, but I tend to see them not get as many tracks and rank appearances, and new rank appearances, and then they tend to cost a lot with coin box, essentially. But, yeah, I think it's just all, skill-based, and also, he says, the black, B-Dasher, that's, one of the new items, like I said before, old items, and old items aren't going to get value. So, it's all about release date and skills, what people are going to pull for. And WootMoo always says, I kind of have a feeling that they're keeping track of how many things people are pulled for, and then they rank it whatever people pulled for less. So you can add on to that, I'm sure.
Oh, sorry.
He puts you on the spot.
Yeah, go transitioning, yo. You're never talking.
Oh, yeah. I kind of see, I do agree with some, things Knight says with everything. But what I do notice is that, it's not only the black items, it tends to be the recolors a lot. So if you look at say the Kart, also, what was Knight saying, I highly agree with, is the release date. You can't deny that, it's always the old items that don't get as much value, but if you look at the Wild Wing, but then that's the original color. But if you look at the Wild Black, the Wild Pink, they're a bright color and a dark color, but they get insane value. And then if you look at all the cloud gliders, like their original clouds they're like not good. But then if you look at the rainy balloons, the ice balloons, and especially the sunset balloons, which is the most recent one, like that one exploded with value. So it tends to be the recolors a lot. So it doesn't have to be only the black items. We see it a lot because we notice it. They released a lot of black things. But it tends to be always the recolors is what I notice. The colors after the originals were released. That gets.
But I could think like the off-roader, the crawly carts, like the purple bunny. I don't know. Like I guess purple bunny's reskin. Yeah, I mean I understand kind of what you're saying, but I don't know if that's like I don't think that's a rule. But I see that could be a strong opinion.
Yeah, and like we could probably see it in the future with like the red crawly cart. Like the regular crawly has like pretty good value, but maybe the red crawly cart will even have just a few more tracks in it. And then I don't know what else recolors have we been having recently, but even like the springtime crane, the gold I think that that has better value than the golden and the red crane now.
Really?
I think
Springtime?
so. I think it has more tracks now than both of those now. So
like total number, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the buffing doesn't always happen to the older carts and gliders.
Yeah, like the originals. Yeah.
The originals. So, I mean, like that happens. That has been happening more frequently. I'll let someone else jump in before I give my very biased opinion. But anyone else have something they want to jump in on? All right, well, I'll get right into it then. I'll jump back on that soapbox. I do believe black items have a prestige to them. I think back about Black Yoshi was like the first one that kind of was like leading the charge. I mean, if you remember, he was just like, he was paywalled, and then he was like, it was like 6 months where we never got access to him unless you got a pack, and he was all over the place, man. They could not give him enough tracks, and they just kept giving him tracks, so he ended up having like one of the best like non-coin box driver coverages, and he was crushing it. I think he kind of really, I think Nintendo for whatever reason is like, hey, you know what, this guy, we happen to kind of like make it an example out of him. Black's just gonna be our thing now. And if you think about like if you've heard the phrase, or I guess the TV show now, like something is the new black, like the show Orange is the New Black. Like that means like that black is like in fashion, like, you know, the original cool. And so I don't know. In my opinion, I do think Nintendo is going out of their way to make black items most valuable right now. Could things change? Absolutely. But at this point in time, I think like B-Dasher and Black Circuit, those are like some old items that we got access to. They can't make it's not like a rule that everything has to be black. Or like not all black items have to be extremely valuable. But, you know, if they're going to make one thing more valuable than another, it seems that in the last, 6 months that black items, for whatever reason, happen to be that. Now, he kind of asked another question, with this red cact. I feel like, well, I'll kind of paraphrase this question about like the red cactar and the yellow off-roader. I think Nintendo for a while was like getting really creative. They were making like a, Wildfire Flyer, Inferno Flyer, and now they're just like yellow, red, like that. I guess cactar is cactar. It's not red, but you get the point. Like I think they're just getting just a little bit like lazy about the naming side of it. But it makes you kind of wonder, like, will there be a color that takes over for black? And what are your thoughts on that?
We have been getting a lot of red items in the last couple tours.
We've been getting more red.
Red Crawley, and then the cactar now. And Christmas is coming up, and that's a Christmas color.
It's a Christmas color. Jongirl, I know that gets you excited. What are your thoughts?
I mean, this was something I mentioned to John as well, because when the tour reset and I saw the yellow off-roader and the character, and I went, ooh, that's interesting. And I actually made the same argument as John, and I said, well, it's kind of strange that they're bringing something red out towards Christmas time, so it might come up in a new Christmas track, or it might just be up there on its own. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't decide which one to get, so I went for the yellow offloader, and now I'm thinking to myself, I might just go and get the red one as well, just for the fun of it, to see what it can do. And yeah, I think that there is kind of like a trend there going on, you know, but I'm not too sure what it is, but we are seeing more colours coming out now, and I reckon that they are getting ready for something pretty big. Don't know what they're going to do, still think that it's still in the works, it's still in development, but I do think that they can see exactly what we do, buy what we do, upgrade what we do, buff and everything else, and that they actually make their decisions from that, because yeah, it's really interesting, because yeah, the Crawley, the character, technically you can have as well the vampire wings that came out too. You could possibly use that as an alternative to Bowser, and possibly have Bowser flying around with the wings or something, I don't know. But yeah, anything's possible.
Any other opinions on that before we get to the last part of this question? So the last part was thinking about karts and gliders. Actually, I'll jump in real quick before we get to the last part. I called this back in the spring. I said, hey guys, what's going to happen is, like, they're going to buff all the things that are like fall-related items in the summer, and then they're going to build up this value, and then we're going to want to all pull for it in the autumn and the fall, and then they're going to buff all of these winter items and like make these winter items really attractive in the fall or in the autumn, and hype. You've seen it. You've seen Bowser Santa all over the place. You've seen all these Santa items, and then you get all these new red items. Yeah, I wonder if like that's kind of this is kind of like tied in with that, where they're just like they're getting us ready for like this upcoming tour, and getting us hyped and thinking like these items are really valuable. You know, just in time to put them in a pack, put them in a pipe, and then let our greed take over. So that's my last part to add on to what you said, Angelita. Last part of his question though is thinking about karts and gliders. Are there reskins you'd like them to make? Or are there reskins, I'm kind of paraphrasing, are there reskins you're afraid of them making?
Yes. I want them to make more of the nicer looking carts. I feel like they like to make...
V-Dash or Mark IIs is what you're saying? We don't have enough of those.
No. That's example of that's the example he was saying, are we done with having recolors of? And that's when we don't need any more of those. But
I thought you were a Mark II fan.
I am, but now I have all the ones I want now. But I want them to make it like nice, like they I don't like when they constantly recolor like the carts that I don't really like the look of, like Birdo carts and everything. But I want them to make carts like almost like the P-Wing over again. Like we only have 2 of those and not that good. And then we also don't even have any alts of the Sports Coupe. And also the Bruiser is my favorite cart in the game, and both those are also like really bad. But I love those carts like the most. And we don't get any recolors of those. I would like to see more of those. Because they're like the best looking carts. Yeah.
I mean, I was actually thinking about the Sports Coupe as well, because I was like, there's only one of them.
Exactly.
And it's the same as well with like the Pirate Sushi Racing, there's only one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're on Airship Fortress and you're going around that corner, like you're trying to drift and you're sliding as well, that would be really cool to see that in a different reskin.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than the plain black, but I am definitely down for the Sports Coupe, definitely.
Mm-hmm. It is a really cool part.
The regular Sushi Racer.
That's the only one that I can actually use on Airship Fortress. That one for me is fantastic for gliding, for drifting, because it's like the angle of it, the way how it can flip out, and you can just drift it just around the corner, and you know that you can get that hitbox and you can get anything that is going around.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favourites personally. I do actually like that one.
I'm curious, Angela, have you used the Surf Sailor? Any of the Surf Sailors?
I'm not using certain. No, I don't know what it is. There's certain ones that I can use, and there's certain ones that I'm not used to using. So I have my favourites and I have my non-favourites. Obviously, I mean, I've never really focused on that particular one. It is there, and I think I might have to start using it as well because I think I have to expand, the carts that I use, But that's
might handle similarly. Yeah, I think you might. If you like the sushi race, I think you might like the Surf Sailor. Kind of got the kind of similar feel. Yeah, give it a shot. Others on the topic.
I wish there was something for me gold items.
Yeah.
Hey, someone, please stop talking over Knights again. No, I'm just joking with you. What were you saying, Knights?
I said, I wish they would stop making so much gold items, because, like, it's like one new thing in the gold type that you have to pull for. It's like, oh. Like, you don't even get them for free half the time. Like, sometimes they get them in the gold pass, it's like, now this is so much, and no one ever invests into them. Like, sometimes there'll be a cool gold item, but it's like, I don't know what gold item to invest into anymore. Keep making more. And then, like, I don't know, like, the gold items never seem to be as good as the regular all the time. But I would like to, like WootMoo said, make more unique carts and gliders as retailers rather than, like, the things that, like, not everyone wants, like the turbo carts, and I know people will hate me saying it, but the cactus and stuff, I don't like that cart. It's silly and stuff. So, I like the nice looking hot rods and stuff, like the, what cart? It's a super, and then they made a black variant. It has the big wheels, I can't remember, the big buggy
The Inferno
one,
Flyer.
Oh, the dark buggy?
Yeah, the dark buggy. Like, I wish we would get more of those, because it's like, yeah, the bolt buggy. We only have, the black one and the super one.
Yep.
Yeah, so like maybe more of those, just, like, more unique stuff, rather than, like, the same, like circuit special, like, no. And, like, like, just make more unique stuff. Like, no one wants all these Hanafuda gliders, even if they're not the Hanafuda, no one wants, like, the kite gliders, there's so many of those. I would just like more unique things, and like, honestly, I'm kind of done with the recolors. I will actual new stuff rather than like recolors all the time, But yeah, I guess we'll just see what they end up doing in the future.
Well, I know. Go for it, Frenzy fans. And I will say, Frenzy fans guy. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. It's the Fury. The Fury King, right? That's got to be on the list. But go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder, French Frank Gal.
You should go first, and then I'll go.
Yeah. So anything that has to do with the king, just as long as they don't do a pink king. If they do a pink king.
I want pink king though. That sounds awesome.
No.
That actually sounds cool.
But I think that they.
I didn't even know I wanted that.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of the double-decker buses. Like, it's a racing game. Like,
oh my gosh,
double-decker buses? What?
Think about the Doja too. Those things probably go so slow.
Get rid of those. But,
those are like my favorite.
I know, right?
No, I love the, like, beautifully designed ones. Like, I'm kind of hoping that next week with the space tour, like, the comet tail gets used a bunch, because, like, if you look at it, it's like just like the skin on it is so beautiful, and it's just, like, dynamic and stuff. And I don't know, I think it'd be cool to, like, I know that for Halloween they released, like, some pumpkin themed ones. Like, if we had some Christmas version of, like, the Gilded Prancer, like, I don't know, I think it's just fun to, like, keep the variety up and add new things. I like it.
You know what? Funny thing you talk about the comet tail. There's actually a render in the game from when they originally implemented it that's not colored as the comet tail. It's like a yellowish green color, and it has like a stripe. And they never used it, like, implemented that model in the game. It's just like the comet tail pattern is put over it. So I don't know why they haven't done a comet tail in the future. But I wish they would. That's actually a part I would like to see too. It's only one of them, so.
What if that's the next tour? What if this is Kart?
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, and
Go
my
ahead,
clan's
Jonboy.
logo is the Gilded King, by the way.
Oh, well, we like the Gilded King.
So
We love the
that's a
Gilded
little thing for Frenzy fans. But
Like,
yeah, like Lice says, I'd like to see more unique items rather than recolors every tour, because I get bummed out when it's just a recolor of something we already got.
Yeah.
New stuff, exciting stuff, keep us interested in the game.
I think that's why I got so excited about the vampire flyer, man. I was like,
Yeah,
Batmobile,
me too.
Oh yeah.
sick, let's go. I know you invested in it too, WootMoo.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that on the trailer. I was like, no way. I'm not letting this go.
Nice. So we have,
I know somebody emptied the pipe for it.
Yeah, me.
oh boy.
Yeah,
all the way down to the bottom.
7, I think I did. Yeah, 27 or 21. And I was like, I am not giving up. I want this car. And I said, I don't care about Waluigi. I just want the Batmobile. I don't care about anything else. And then they come out one after the other, and I thought, typical.
Oh man, that is how it works. Well, guys, we had two more questions left, but we'll maybe toss them to our next tour because we're already at 2 hours.
Wow,
isn't that crazy? We talk about it all the time. It's like time flies when we're doing this, but we have so much fun just having conversations with each other and just chatting. So I know one of the things that program we're using said our videos were too long, and maybe that's why it wasn't uploaded correctly. So I mean, like 2 hours. Like, what does 2 hours and 20 minutes make any difference? But anyway, so we'll cut it off here. Just for sake of hoping that we get you a great content. But thank you all to our guests for being here. Knights, I hope we can actually get your audio on par with everyone this time. Yeah, that way we don't have to have you on a third time. No, I'm just joking with you. No, excited that you guys were able to join. WootMoo, why don't you say goodbye to your fans and what would be like? Maybe I really liked the conversation we had last time, which was like really helping out these new players who are starting the game. So, if you can, just say goodbye to your fans in general, and then just give one tip that you might give, one recommendation you might give to a newer player.
Well, thank you for having me, Studfit. I really appreciate it. I didn't expect you to invite me so soon, but if I were to give one tip to a new player, it's to just follow the steps of other people and see what you can do differently when you create your account and build up your inventory. And you can also just feel free to ask anyone questions about the game if you're lost or anything, because I was actually recently helping someone in the voice chat who thought he was just playing the game very, very badly, but all I said was just you need to just focus on this and this and this, and then don't be afraid to ask questions because we're all in this community to help each other. But yeah, I don't know. That's
love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Say goodbye to your fans again, and one tip you might give to a newer player.
Alright. Thanks for having me again. One tip I would give is to take advantage of what we have now. Don't give up so easily, and take advantage of resources. Because all the information is out there now that you can possibly ask for. And really, if you have any, if you're struggling, always just feel free to reach out or just try your best, and always feel free to invest into what you believe is going to be the best. You don't have to follow everything. You can always play the way you want. So at the end of the day, play the way you like.
Good, solid advice there. Jongirl, Angelita, why don't you say goodbye to your fans and maybe a tip or suggestion for a newer player?
Well, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you all. And I don't have fans. But yeah,
now you do. You're now internet famous.
Well, I regard people that I know in Discord and the service community as family. So when family becomes friends, and you want to go through it. But what I would say is the same advice that Knights and WootMoo have given. You just got to remember just to ask for the help, ask for the advice. There's a lot of resources out there, and the one thing is just remember just to have fun and enjoy the game, and just take it day by day.
Awesome. Moving from Jongirl to Jonboy. Jonboy, tell us, say goodbye to all of your fans. I know you already have fans already. And what one piece of advice you would give to a newer player?
Oh, man. I appreciate it, man. I know I've been trying to get on here for a while.
Yeah, so happy to have you here.
But, it's not fans. It's not fans, man. It's family. Like she said. Great friends. Known everybody here for a while. And, game's not nothing like what it was when we started. There's a whole ton of resources. There's a whole community out there. And if you're not a part of it, come join us. And, you just have fun. And remember, there's no wrong way to play the game. Play at your own pace. And enjoy it while we still can.
Well, and you bring up some solid points there, and I think ultimately we take this game pretty seriously, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the game how you want to, and I think that's everyone's already reiterated that. I do want to give a special thanks to Jonboy, and that we have known each other for a long time. You've been very, very supportive of our channel. You and James have probably been our two ones carrying the flag, and so excited about what we've been doing. So thank you very much, Jonboy, for all the support you've given. And honestly, I'm just impressed you got the whole way through the 2 hours without cursing or dropping an F-bomb or anything. So personal thanks. I told Dice, I was like, please don't, and then I was like, oh yeah, we got Jonboy here. I probably should let him know too. But kudos to you. Special thank you for keeping it clean. We appreciate it. For those who don't know, Jonboy gets really excited in his runs and gets really angry at bots. So sometimes he will take some verbal aggression out on them. So thank you, Jonboy. Appreciate that. Frenzy fans, I'll let you guys do the same and wrap up. But I also want to give a special root or excitement for WootMoo. We really hope you are able to get top 100. Great job grinding so far, and it'll be exciting to see as you cross the finish line. French fans, take us away.
So before we end, I do have a question that's been burning on my mind all night.
Ooh.
WootMoo and Knights.
Yes?
Explain your names. What is WootMoo?
Okay. I had a feeling that someone's gonna ask this question here.
I see your guys as WootMoo and Knights, and I'm like, what? So you have to. We can't go this episode without. I mean, we've been calling you this the whole entire time. We have to know why.
Okay.
What's the backstory behind your names?
Okay, so my name. Okay, it's kind of funny, and I had a feeling. I don't know why. I had a feeling someone's gonna ask this question. I get asked a lot, but one time I was scrolling through some YouTube channel, and it was from a different game that I used to play that I used to make videos on. And it was like 500 diamond hack tool, get any almost like it was like a scam thing. But I was looking at the comment section, and there was like this girl who put her username and password in it, and then she put her username as like funny bunny 33 or something like that, and all of a sudden her password was WootMo. It was like Woot and then MO, and I started bursting out laughing because it's the stupidest password ever. So I just added like one extra O instead of saying WootMo, it was WootMoo, and I just made it my username. And ever since then I got and I even got famous. I made a YouTube channel, and I had the at one point, and I got a fan base with that username, but I kind of like quit YouTube like 5 years ago. But yeah, that's how I just go by now. Just
so somewhere you can log into an Animal Crossing using Purple Bunny and WootMoo password. WootMoo, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Well, there's your answer. For those who wanted to know, I'm not sure we're all satisfied, but there it is. Knights, what about you, man?
So mine isn't funny, but I just named myself after like a Sonic character. Name is Knight. Coincidence. I decided to wear the shirt for the stream so you guys can tell the difference. So it's this character. Their name is Knights, and it's like a Sega character. So I've always been like the character, and I just decided to name myself after character. I mean, like some other people have the same name as Knights, but like I kind of like stole the name from everyone, and then like kind of call everyone's calling me that now. And just something I stuck with. I was thinking about always like changing it to like something with like King Boo. I was like, I kind of like Knights anyway. It kind of sticks with me now, and I kind of make it my nickname for everything. And I don't know. I just like I'm a fan of this character. So yeah, that's how I got my name. But
So were you always a Sega kid? Because I know, like growing up, like I couldn't talk to the Sega kids. Those were the weirdos. Like I was a Nintendo.
yes, the whole community is full of bunch of freaks. I'm not even kidding. They're all just a bunch of freaks. Like I don't know. I just can't stand them either. They're also. Yeah, there we go. Start it up again. But I don't know. I just like this character. I kind of just stay aside from them. Like I'm like the Mario Karter surrounded by Sonic racers. So it's like I'm always the odd one out in their community, but for some reason. So yeah.
There you go. Good question, Frenzy fans. I feel like a terrible host not asking that. So you might have a future in hosting podcasts. But go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
See you guys.
See ya.